All right, so if you're a leader, an entrepreneur, somebody that's ambitious, somebody that's committed to creating the life that you really want, like creating the life that you deserve, that you want to see manifest out in your reality, this is going to be one of the most beneficial and impactful videos I think I can give you. And I don't just say that, I actually mean it. I think that the topics that we're going to talk about today are so crucial when it comes to avoiding pain in our life, which is really our major goal as a human being. You know, it's to go towards pleasure and away from pain, but we're more likely to act, we're more likely to do certain actions based on the need to avoid pain. So if you want to avoid a lot of pain in your life by making wrong decisions that lead to outcomes that are less than desirable, I suggest that you watch this entire video in its entirety because we're going to be talking about a principle today. The principle is that syntax is extremely crucial when it comes to strategy. And they're almost the same. And I think it's very undervalued in the community of high performance, of entrepreneurship, of becoming the best version of yourself, to think in terms of syntax. And for those that's not aware, syntax is just the order in which you do things. And we all have certain syntax that we use to make decisions. And the more aware that we can be of the syntax that we already use to make decisions, the more we can consciously go in and change this syntax or use this syntax to our advantage. And really, when we think of syntax, I want you to think in terms of patterns and observing the patterns that are there in life and how you can use these patterns to adjust your strategy in order to get what you want faster, while again avoiding most of the pain and pitfalls in life. Because we have a couple of different ways that we can learn. We can learn from our own experiences and just go out there and try and just take massive action and figure out what's working, what's not, and adjust over time, and eventually we'll probably get to our results. But sometimes that leads to frustration. Sometimes that leads to a lot of rejection. Sometimes that leads to a lot of pressure and a lot of pain that we can possibly avoid if we just, observe some of the patterns of successful people that's already kind of paved the way in front of us and use that for our advantage. So that's where this idea of syntax comes from, is constantly studying and researching different materials. And I just started to become aware that it's not only like the strategy and what you do. It's not only just like the set of actions that you do or coming up with a certain vision or a certain why for the actions that you do, but it's very crucial in which the order that you do them on a micro level, like day by day, task by task, project by project, week by week, year by year, but also on a macro level, like when it comes to setting up your life philosophy. Like, what are you gonna do for work? Who's your life partner gonna be? What's your health regimen gonna be? What's your diet plan? All these different things are so crucial in like how we're gonna spend our time, right? So to not get too far into the weeds, there's a lot of different directions that we can take this when we observe why we do what we do. We have deep-rooted beliefs and values, but overall, I want to give you what I think is some of the most powerful tools in our arsenal, and how we can use these tools in order to set up more of the right actions in the right order to get us more of what we want quicker. And I don't want you to take this as like what you have to do in terms of what you are going to create with your life, right? But I want you to maybe just find where you can use some of these different tools or ways of thinking, different perspective shifts to apply to what plan that you already have going, and how you can maybe shift the results you're getting at a lot quicker. So enough build up, specifically, what do I mean by syntax matters and how does this apply to getting what you want, right? So again, syntax is the order in which you do certain things. So when it comes to our life, we all have orders in which we go about creating a life. A lot of society is pushed to, have us go to school for 12 years. After school, we take in secondary education through university. After the university, we go get an apprenticeship or internship into what we're supposed to do for our career. Inside that career, we'll hopefully grow, develop, and eventually, get to a point to where we're satisfied with the life that we've created, start a family, all these different things. So this is kind of the status quo. This is where culture is pushing us for as of right now. Now, what I want you to consider is that a lot of people don't have what they truly dream of, what they truly want, the life that they want to create. So although this is our current syntax of creating the quote unquote good life, the life that we want to create, it hasn't really yielded results. And one of the most crucial reasons why I feel like the current established path of culture, of our education system, of our society has not led to the results that most people want, is because we haven't learned to use one of our ultimate gifts and one of the ultimate skills that all human beings possess, but a lot of us don't tap into the power of, which is the power of persuasion. And not just any persuasion, like persuading others, selling others, influencing others. That is definitely plays its role, but also the power to personally persuade and your personal persuasion power, you know? So tapping into your ability to not only persuade yourself, but your ability to persuade others really gives you the power to shape and bend reality how you want it to be. Because at the end of the day, you know, the results that we create are going to be from the behaviors that we take and the people that we can influence and get them to allow us to use their resources in a way. Hopefully that way it's collaborative, so that way we can execute and hit certain results together. And that's the way human race gets pushed forward. That's the way we get results. That's the way businesses are created. That's the way lives are created. That's the way relationships are created. Everything comes from this ability to connect and this ability to influence others in a positive way to get what you want. So in order to take control of this persuasion power, we need to understand what we're going to use it for and how to actually use it, right? Like, I could talk about the persuasion power, but you know, if we don't know the direction that we're going to use it for and and how to actually use it, the power that we're going to tap into is going to be minimal. But once we kind of become aware of the power, once we kind of know what we're going to use it for, how to use it, then the natural steps are there to take action on and start to influence your life. Because whether we know it or not, this power is already there inside of us to become persuaded and then use that persuasion to produce certain results in our life. It's just a lot of times we just blindly go with a direction that some other greater entity or media or something has told us where to go. But you know, in order to really have control and power over your life, you really have to understand that you are the one that should be influencing your own mind with what you want and what, you know, values that you believe in. So in order to actualize this, and I want you to think from terms of a macro level, meaning worldwide, meaning humanity, meaning your entire life, meaning your purpose, meaning, you know, the biggest that you can think, right? I don't want to limit you there, but I also want you to think on a micro level, on a week by week level, on a day by day level, on an hour by hour level, on a minute by minute level, on a second by second level of how you can apply these principles, right? So in order to take control of the power of persuasion, you have to understand that all persuasion has a syntax to it. Like, in order to unlock certain beliefs, certain triggers, certain things in a person's mind, you have to go through certain stages that allow them more receptivity, is the correct word, that allows them to be suggested in a way that creates action and creates the tension needed to take a certain action. So what do I mean by that? I mean that all human beings are influenced by the pain and pleasure principle. We go towards pleasure and away from pain. So in order to influence people, you have to be able to break the pattern of what they currently are doing and do suggestions over and over again in a compelling, emotional, deep way to allow them to associate more pleasure with the change than more pain with not changing. And that's the simple essence of change. And that's what we're looking to do when we persuade ourselves and we persuade others. But in order to do that, we have to have that clear vision. We have to have that clear outcome. Because how many times in life have we attained certain results, but it wasn't what we really wanted? You know, like society sells the young entrepreneurship male generation a dream of, oh, go get a whole bunch of money, go get a whole bunch of girls, and go live this lifestyle, and this is ultimate pleasure for you. If you do this, this is gonna be ultimate pleasure. Then they go out, they create the money, maybe they sacrifice health a little bit, maybe they sacrifice certain relationships, but through that vision, their entire state, their entire nervous system, their entire emotional energy and juice and power of persuasion is going to be going towards this vision of, let me maximize money because that means maximum pleasure. So that means doing people wrong because that's not a value that you're thinking about when you're maximizing money. That means that you're going to take certain actions in business, that you're going to pursue certain business ventures. Whatever makes you money. Forget about a passion, forget about happiness, forget about feeling good, forget about all those things. Let me just get money, and then if I get money, then my happiness will be here in the future and I'll be able to have that eventually. So that's one way of viewing the world, and that's a paradigm, and that comes from a certain identity and certain influences and certain ways of interpreting your reality, your perception. But I offer you the question of, what if that's not true? What if that's something that's been sold to you, that happiness was somewhere in the distance that you had to achieve certain things materialistically to get. You know, that's not to say money is bad or material things are bad, but that's to say that what if that's just not the proper syntax? Proper syntax you should be asking maybe is not how can I achieve the most of my life because therefore maybe I'll get happy, but maybe the ultimate syntax or vision is like how can I be happy and therefore I'll get everything I want in life. Which goes to the next step. It's like once you have that vision, that outcome in mind, next is the reason why you're doing it. So it's the identity that comes with that vision, who the type of person that you need to become, and that comes from like deep rooted reasons. But even more so, how it all takes shape is through the power of our state. So you've heard me talk about this in other videos, but our state, our emotions, our behavior is controlled by what we focus on, what we talk to ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, our self-talk, our meaning that we shape on our reality, and then also what we do with our physiology, how we move our body, what we do in the physical world, what actions that we take. So when we think about this triad, this triangle, where we have focus, meaning, and what we do with our body as creating our emotions, that's going to be driven, that's going to be pushed, that's going to be pulled towards whatever vision that we have in our mind, and whatever vision is going to be tied to our identity or what we believe that has value, that's going to give us pleasure and avoid pain. Are you following? Hope you're following. So going back to the goal here, which is to understand the power of sequencing and syntax and the order in which you do things. Would you agree that it's important for you to understand where you're going first, the vision that you want to create, and the identity that that's tied to? Like if I want to be a person that exemplifies love, change, positive things, growth, all these different attributes, then part of that is like what we're headed to is ultimately this goal of like fulfillment, this goal of like feeling like I'm right where I need to be, doing what I want to do, and feeling complete peace with the moment. And that's a lot of what achievers or people in general are after. But then we get sold the vehicle, the means to getting there through a different pill, through a different drug, through a TV program, through whatever, right? Music, all these different things. So we're sold all these means to get to the end of a certain emotional state that we feel is going to give us ultimate pleasure, ultimate joy, which is excitement, passion, happiness, love, whatever those emotions come up for you, right? But what if I told you that the key is not in a means, it's not in something that's going to get you there, but it's in the ability for you to take control of your own emotional state. And that ability comes from your level of awareness and your level of adaptivity with the skill of persuasion. Because without persuading your subconscious mind, without using certain tactics to, create a new association with what you associate pain to and what you associate pleasure to, without the ability to do that through learning the power of influence and the power of words and the ability to put certain actions in a certain syntax so that way it creates a certain picture in your mind, so that way it can change those associations in your nervous system. Without that, it's going to be really tough to achieve most people's ultimate outcome and ultimate vision, which is achieving happiness, success, fulfillment, all these different things. It's gonna be difficult without the state to go along with it. So in order to avoid, like I talked about in the beginning, going somewhere and realizing, hey, this is not where I really wanna be, is to first, again, on a macro level, say, hey, I wanna be happy, I wanna produce a family, I wanna produce greatness, I wanna produce love, I wanna produce these great emotional states. And then working backwards to say, okay, in order to do that, who must I be? Who must I surround myself with? What type of character traits? What type of, what's the why behind this? Am I doing this because I'm a son of God and this is what's destined for me? Am I doing it because it's my purpose? Am I doing it to make humanity better? Like, why am I doing something? And then for those reasons, through that syntax, now you have an emotional pull, an emotional attachment to your vision, to your outcome, to where now you have the tools and the resources to know what emotional states that you need to tap into to get there. And that's what we talk a lot about on this channel. Like, we're not gonna go too far into like how to change your state in this video, but I'm pretty sure I have other videos on that topic. But, just the idea of, let me sequence my life by first thinking about vision, the outcome that I'm after. Then let me think about why I want it, the identity I need to be, the purpose behind it. And then combining that with the state of how to actually achieve it, how to get the results. Because to get the results, to perform at a peak performance, it's all going to be a matter of how you feel at a given time. You are not who you are how you feel. You are your emotional state at any given time. Somebody's gonna have a different association of who you are in their head based on how you were feeling at that time. If you was mad and pissed off, they're gonna associate you as a mad and pissed off person. If you was loving and nice, they're gonna associate you as a loving and nice person. If you was funny and happy and playful and joyful and adventurous, that's how they're gonna associate you. And it's not just once, but it's the ability to condition the states that you want to have for yourself and the states that you want to show on people and present to people and influence people with, and conditioning those states into your mind, your body, your soul every single day. So that way it's not a conscious thought of like, oh, let me snap into becoming this person, but it becomes just a new habit, a new pattern of who you are. And I think by, first becoming aware that your outcome is to set up a good life for yourself, a wonderful life for yourself, a life to where you're happy, a life to where you're proud, a life to where you're successful, joyous, fulfilled, excited, passionate. In order to set that life up, we first have to understand that that is the outcome. Going back to the 3 principles in this video, that is the outcome. And this is who I need to be to achieve that outcome. I need to focus on what I love to do. I need to focus on not about making money, but what I love to do. And how can I serve people? And how can I help people? Because all those things are going to associate with more positive feelings, not taken from people. How can I give to the relationships that I'm in instead of taking from the relationships? Because that's going to give more joy. So yes, this is a process to become more aware of like empowering values and empowering beliefs that you should have to produce certain results that you want in life. But a lot of this is also common sense. You maybe observed it through different role models, and I would encourage you to go back to those people who have certain results that you want in life, and just start to evaluate and look at what are they doing different, what are they focused on first, what are their priorities, what are their values, what come up as most important for them. And when you start to analyze those things, you'll start to notice these little patterns, and you'll notice that all these people know what they want out of life, and they're fully congruent in that, and they fully know why they want it, and they know that that's deep and that's emotional for them and that's connected to them. And that affects how they show up every day. And how they show up every day is affect how other people treat them and how other people react to them. And based on that, they get certain results. They're able to garner attention. They're able to get people to change. They're able to change people's states, get people better results, right? So this is what I want for you is to become one of these influencers of positivity, of positive psychology, of influencing others in a positive way. And it starts with doing it for yourself. And if you follow these 3 steps of syntaxing your life, sequencing your life in a certain way, I think it can not only improve whatever strategy that you're implementing right now, but maybe give it a little bit more juice, a little bit more power by tapping into the things that really matter. Because you can know the how of what to do, the step by step, but if you're not tapped into your vision, if you're not tapped into your purpose behind it, and if you're not tapped into the exact states that you need to be in to fully be at peak performance and optimize your performance, then it's going to be tough to produce those results. So I hope this served you well today. If it did, give it a like, comment what you want to see next, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you on the next one.